However, in 2022, despite the high level of farmer stock processed compared to the previous year, profitability reduced by 69%. This was mainly due to the high cost of crop finances incurred. When it comes to the business performance, the corporation's operating revenue for the year ended 30th September 2022 increased by 48% from $1.017 billion in the previous year, financial year, to $1.510 billion for the period under review. The increase was due to more intake of groundnuts processed compared to the previous year by 436%. The corporation's profit after interest reduced by 69% from $53.13 million in the previous financial year to $16.67 million in the current financial year. The reduction in profit was mainly due to high cost of crop financing, increased cost of sales, and depleted infrastructure and plant and machinery, which could not produce high quality of output for the premium market. When we go to page 2, which talks about the international, page 2 of the activity report, talks about the international production of groundnuts. In summary, world production of groundnuts is over 53 million tons, with China and India being the biggest producers. But they also consume most of what they produce, leaving little for international trade. The Gambia's production average of 100,000 metric tons represents less than 0.2% of world production, and consequently, the country has no influence on the price of groundnuts and groundnut products. Trade in groundnuts and groundnut products are being negatively affected by aflatoxin contamination. It is expected that African countries will soon regain their position in the edible groundnut trade to Europe, with the aggressive efforts being made by the Partnership for Aflatoxin Control in Africa, FACA, in finding solutions to aflatoxin contamination. There is more money to be made from the sale of edible groundnut kernels. In the meantime, getting preferential trade tariffs with China will improve export earnings from the groundnut sector and therefore those of the producers. Pages 3 and 4 of the activity report talks about the handling and processing infrastructure. The corporation has the following handling and processing facilities. We have 10 depots strategically located along the river Gambia, which serve as collection points for purchased groundnuts from the primary buying agents. 10 barges with carrying capacity of approximately 2,000 metric tons for the evacuation of groundnuts from the depots to the processing facilities. The number is inadequate. Requirement is above 3,500 metric tons per bike trip. A shelling plant to decorticate groundnuts into edibles and for crossing into oil and cake. A crushing plant to crush groundnut kernels into oil and cake. All these plants, as we all know, are very old and ineffective. Pages 4 talks about the crop finance. In its continued efforts to mitigate the high cost of financing from international banks, such as the International Trade Finance Corporation, and the associated cost of repaying in hard currencies, and in order to allow for the repayment of better producer prices to the farmers, the corporation, through the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, sought and obtained financing from Ajib Bank. The total crop financing portfolio approved for 2021-2022 season was $2.2 billion at an interest rate of 8%. The amount was utilized for the purchase, handling, processing, and export of groundnuts, raw cashew nuts, and the purchase of agricultural inputs, such as fertilizer. Pages 4 to 5 of the activity report talks about the crop purchase financing to CPMS and other agents. The corporation continued with its business model by engaging Ajib to pay for groundnut bought from farmers in order to control the risk associated with cash handling. The corporation usually purchases the bulk of the groundnuts through primary buying agents, CPMS, and private traders, using a combination of direct purchases and pre-financing. In the season under consideration, the payment for groundnut in Gambian dollars was, as per the table below, the CPMSs we purchased $1,190,607,625, representing 98% of the total purchase. Self-finance traders or farmers, $17,393,837, representing 1.4%. Pages 5 and 6 talks about the purchase activities. The corporation planned to purchase 30,000 metric tons in 2021-2022 season. The corporation's simulated farm gate prices per ton based on the spot international prices for groundnut products as shown below against Government of the Gambia's approved prices. The corporation's simulated price per ton was $15,874. Government of the Gambia's simulated price per ton was $28,000 per metric ton. The difference of $12,126 was a government subsidy. The actual purchases were 40,167 metric tons, 34% above the plan, 30,000 metric tons. Pages 6 and 7 talked about the evacuation of groundnuts to processing plants. In the year under review, evacuation started on the 27th of December 2021 and ended on the 18th of June 2022. 39,744 metric tons were evacuated and transferred for shelling operations in your facilities here in Saro. The process experienced stock losses of 423 tons, or 1.05% of total stock. This is within the normal threshold of between 1.5% to 3.5% for agricultural commodities. The factors that contributed to the loss being insect damage and damage to the nuts during evacuation as a result of brittleness. Pages 7 to 8 talks about the processing activities. The results of selling for the evacuated stocks were as per the table below in metric tons. The farmer stock input in our selling plant, in our processing facility, was about 14,815 metric tons. Out of that, we were able to generate 4,264 metric tons of hand-picked selection, that is the HPS nuts, and 4,963 of FAQ. So the HPS were about 28% of the total stock count, and then the FAQ were 33%. So in total, 62.28%, and the remaining 38% is groundnut shells, which are normally disposed. Farmer stock shelled at the mobile sellers. We also had mobile sellers in the provinces, in the other depots like Kerawan and Kaur. Total farmer stock input received by the machines were 25,336 metric tons. HPS output was 16,386, representing 64% of total stock. So the remaining was also disposed as groundnut sales. Page 9 is on export of groundnut products. The products obtained from the processing activities of purchased farmer stocks were all exported. In addition to the sale of fertilizer and cashew, the corporation made a turnover of $1.510 billion. Pages 9 to 10 is on fertilizer purchase. Part of the crop financing was used for the purchase of fertilizer as per the table below. Compound fertilizer 15-15-15 plus 4 MGO, 7,000 metric tons was purchased. Compound fertilizer 6-20-10, 5,500 metric tons were procured. Urea 46%, 1.5 metric tons, 1,500 metric tons. A total of $12,855,900 US. Page 10 is on raw cashew nuts. Raw cashew nuts were purchased on a limited scale in order to continue the process of establishing market outlets in a drive for our diversification efforts. 817 metric tons of raw cashew nuts were purchased during the period under review. Also, under the Enhancing Value Addition in the Groundnut Sector project, in order to address the constraints of all infrastructure, a project proposal was formulated and financing sought from the Islamic Development Bank Group. Approval was obtained to the tune of $30 million, of which $2 million was government counterpart contribution. The components of the installation are a 350 throughput selling plant, a 300 throughput crushing plant, a 3.5 megawatt of almost close to 4 megawatt cogeneration plant to use industrial waste and biomass to generate electricity, purchase of barges, construction of slipway, rehabilitation of depot handling and storage facilities, and technical studies. The project is under implementation with major components already delivered despite the numerous challenges. The new processing facility is expected to be commissioned by the first quarter of 2025. Well, now this timeline has been surpassed. I guess, is it 2000? Yeah. I think December now. We have moved it to December. Pages 11 to 14 is on groundnut production and quality assurance. The corporation faces problems of low purchases of groundnuts because of the low production, poor quality, and lack of working capital. Aflatoxin contamination in groundnuts is making access to international markets very difficult. When access to these markets is given, prices of products are usually discounted by up to 35% due to the quality of the products. Producer price subsidy, pages 15 to 16. The corporation welcomes government's intervention in subsidizing prices to farmers for the purchase of fertilizer and the sale of groundnuts. However, failure to settle these subsidies on time threatens the going concern of the corporation. From pages 10 to 20 of the activity report, we highlighted the challenges of the groundnut sector and made recommendations on the way forward. Looking ahead, the year under review presented significant challenges, yet the corporation was able to deliver a profitable outcome, primarily through proactive cost containment and enhanced revenue generation strategies implemented by management. These efforts have stabilized our financial performance and positioned the corporation well for future growth. As we look forward to 2023-2024, we aim to expand our operations by diversifying into the trading of essential commodities such as rice, sugar, cooking oil, and flour. This strategic initiative is designed to ensure availability of these commodities as a measure for food security, improve price stability, and create additional revenue streams. With a skilled and committed team, we are well prepared to execute the corporation's strategic vision, and I'm confident that we will continue to deliver value for our stakeholders. Acknowledgement. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our board for their invaluable guidance and insights. I also extend my gratitude to the National Assembly select committees, the different select committees, and especially this PEC, for their continued support in helping the corporation address its challenges with regards to financing. Additionally, we appreciate the support of our line ministries, the Ministry of Finance, the Office of the President, particularly during our most challenging times. I acknowledge the dedication of our staff who are committed and have been crucial to the success of our transformation strategy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MD. Next is the financial statement. Do you know they are talking to agriculture?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am pleased to present the financial performance of the corporation for the period ended September 2022. This report provides insights into our revenue performance, cost structure, and strategic financial measures, ensuring sustainability and efficiency. The performance of the corporation during the period ended September 2022 is highlighted below. Revenues. Total revenue for the period amounted to...
Can I observe?
Yes, please.
You know, financial statements, there are a few areas that we pinpoint, and if we can go to the book and directly deal with them there,
okay,
it would have been better than you give us activity. We really expect a summary version. When you come to finance, let's go to state and management later.
Okay.
Yes, for the financial statement, there was yeah, they will be fine. Sorry.
Go to page.
If you can refer us to the page starting from the statement of financial positions.
Statement of financial performance.
Position, financial position. Page 7.
Page 7 of the financial statement.
Only 3 pages. Only 3 pages.
Okay. If we go to page 7, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Page 7.
Yes. As usual, we still want to maintain our settled practice. When you are dealing with the financial statement, you take us through the financial report, starting from the financial position, and exhaust all of them. Not reading everything verbatim.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, if we go to page 3 of the financial statements, yes, page 3, there you have the director's report. Mr. Chairman,
yes.
Do we go straight to the financials?
Yeah, let's go to the financial state.
Then page 7, please.
Yes.
Statement of financial position as at 30th September 2022. The top part of the statement, we have the assets, and the bottom part is the liabilities. For the assets, we categorize into non-current and current. On the current assets, we have property, plant, and equipment. In 2022, the net book value of our property, plant, and equipment was $210,191,017. So the total non-current asset, that's fixed assets.
Can you make the comparative analysis as compared to 2021?
As compared to 2021,
yes.
Our fixed assets have reduced by about. Okay.
Just read the figures. Just read the figures.
2021 fixed net book value of our fixed asset stood at $229,434.
Good. Yes.
Thank you. Current assets, cash and cash equivalent.
Don't forget about the totals too.
Okay. The total
non-current
assets stood at $210,191,017 for 2022. Compared to 2021, the total non-current assets stood at $229,229,434.
Yes. Okay.
Now we move to
current assets. Cash and cash equivalent.
In 2022, September 30, it stood at $446,984,987. Compared to 2021 September, was $124,824,940. Short-term investments. In 2022 September, there was no short-term investment. Compared to 2021, there was short-term investment of $76 million. Inventory. In 2022 September, our inventory stood at $417,597,466. Compared to 2021 September, which stood at $83,321,617. Receivables. As of September 2022, our receivable balance was $1,317,546,530. Compared to 2021, our receivable balance was $574,678,8 $354, which means total current asset as at 30th September 2022 was $2,182,128,983. Compared to 2021 September year end, our total current assets stood at $858,824,911. So total assets as of September 2022 was, that's both the current and non-current, was $2,392,320,000. And as of September 2021, the total assets was $1,088,054,345. The other part of the balance sheet, the equity and liabilities. The share capital as at September 2022 was $75,500,000, same as in September 2021, $75,500,000. Retained earnings as of September 2022, it was a retained loss of $178,160,986, and as compared to September 2021, another retained loss of $190,293,261. Total equity is a loss, negative equity of $102,660,986 as of September 2022, compared to a negative equity of $114,793,261.
Liabilities.
We move to the total equity. Okay. Liabilities. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bank overdraft, there was no bank overdraft as of September 2022 compared to about $100 overdraft as of September 2021. Accruals and other payables as of September 2022, it was $19,642,349 compared to $8,696,603 in September 2021. Loans as of September 2022 is $2,211,698,736 compared to $913,170,592 in 2021 September ending. Tax liabilities, $88,444,878 as of September 2022 compared to $82,444,778 as of September 2021. Capital grant, $175,195,023 September 2022 compared to $198,535,534 in September 2021. Total liabilities as of September 2022 was $2,494,980,986 compared to $1,202,847,606 September 2021. So total equity and liabilities, therefore, $2,392,320,000 compared to $1,088,054,345, which balance with the assets. Signed by the chairman of the board and the managing director. We now move to the next page, page 9, the statement of changes in equity.
Statement of, how about profit and loss? Profit and loss.
Okay, page 8.
Page 8.
Yeah.
Are we there?
Yes, sir. Statement of profit and loss.
Yes, good.
For the year ended 30th September 2022. Operating income as of September 2022 was $1,510,387,934 compared to $1,017,832,923 as of September 2021. In 2022, cost of sales was $1,235,301,937 compared to $841,035,273 in 2021. Production and processing costs, $13,352,685 in 2022 compared to $20,276,118 in 2021.
gross profit.
Leading to a gross profit of $261,733,313 for September 2022, and compared to a gross profit of $156,521,532 in September 2021. Other income, $6,023,079 in September 2022, and $45,512,136 in September 2021. Grant income in 2022 and 2021 is the same, $23,340,511. So total income less cost of sales is $291,096,903 as of September 2022, compared to $225,374,179 in September 2021. We have the administrative expenses of $27,035,855 compared to $23,331,860 in 2021. Employee cost, $55,704,780 in 2022 compared to $37,900,726 in 2021. And depreciation expense, $31,564,386 in 2022 compared to $28,003,687 in 2021. Total expenditure, therefore, $114,305,021 in 2022 compared to $89,236,273. These are the expenditure after the gross profit in 2021. The finance cost in 2022 was $160,126,293 compared to $83,011,667 in September 2021. Profit before tax was $16,665,589 in 2022. Profit before tax in 2021 was $53,126,239. And the tax was $15,164,110 in 2022 compared to $14,344,084 in 2021. Profit after tax and interest or net profit is $1,501,479 in 2022 compared to $38,782,155 in 2021. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Let's go to statement of changes in equity. Page 9.
Statement of changes in equity for the year ended 30th September.
Yes.
The balance brought forward as at 1st October 2021 was $75,500,000 as our equity share capital, with a retained loss of $229 million, leading to a balance of $154 million as I brought forward. Profit or loss for the year, as in 2021, was $38,782,155, and prior adjustment $755,000 as a movement, leading to a total retained loss of $114,793,261 in 2021. Compared to 2022, the balance brought forward same $75 million as our share capital, in addition to the brought forward retained earnings of $114,793,261, plus the profit for the year of 2022, $1,501,479, and prior adjustment of $10,630,796, leading to a closing balance of the share capital is $75,500,000, retained earnings retained loss of $178,160,000, and total of $102,660,986.
Statement of cash flow.
Statement of cash flow for the year ended 30 September 2022. Cash flow from operating activities. Profit or loss before tax in 2022 was $16,665,589, compared to $53 million in 2021, $53,126,239. We adjust for depreciation, that's the non-cash movement, of $31,564,386 in 2022 compared to $28,003,687 in 2021. Grant income released to $23,340,511 compared to the same amount in 2021. Changes in receivables, $742,886,176 compared to $362,336,700. Changes in inventories, $334,275,849 compared to $56,499,427. Changes in payables, $10,945,746 compared to $9,005,034 in 2021. And the opening retained earnings, $10,630,398 compared to $755,118. Cash generated from operations, $1,030,678,417 compared to $369,296,628. Income taxes paid, $9,164,010 in 2022 September compared to $9,082,005 in September 2021. Net cash from operating activities, $1,842,427 compared to $378,378,633. Cash flow from investing activities.
Finance Director?
Yes, please.
If you are mentioning negative, you put negative there so that some of us can understand.
Okay.
Especially those in bracket, huh?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Cash flow from investing activities, purchase of property, plant and equipment, negative $12,525,969.
Very good.
Compared to negative $20,238,776 in 2021. Short-term investments, that is September 2022, $76 million and $54 million September 2021. Net cash from investing activities.
Pardon?
When it comes to negative, at times some are expenditures. They are not called negative, but they are expenditures.
Oh, we understand, but that's the way they are here.
When you say negative, it means
I'll say minus.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some are expenditures.
It's either minus or negative, I think there. So it's okay.
Sometimes you lost, but not been expenditures. So we have to put it under this.
Okay. It's not losses, but can we use negative? Or minus? Or minus? No, in fact, this is an internal consumption, as the practice made. You may proceed.
Thank you. So the net cash flow from investing activities was $63,474,031 compared to $33,761,224 in September 2021. Cash flow from financing activities. Changes in long-term borrowings, $1,298,528,144 compared to $418,716,794. Decrease in bank overdrafts, $100 in 2022 compared to $1,109,592. Net cash used in financing activities, therefore, $1,298,528,044 compared to $417,607,202. Net increase or decrease in cash and cash equivalent is therefore $322,159,648 in 2022 compared to $72,989,793 in 2021. Cash and cash equivalent at the beginning of the year was $124,824,942 in 2022 compared to $51,835,147 in 2021. Cash and cash equivalent at the end of the period, at the end of September 2022, was $446,984,590 compared to $124,824,940 in 2021.
Thank you so much, Finance Director, for that explicit report. Can we hand over the baton to the auditors, starting from the audit opinion, then to the management letter, only that are rated very high risk areas. We only want you to highlight those. And prior year unresolved issues or that are not implemented. Please. You can help us to give us the page number.
Good afternoon and welcome to the report. For the financial statements, you can go to page 4 for the opinion. Page 4.
Okay. Are we all there?
Page 4 of the financial statements.
Yes.
Independent auditor report. To the board members of National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation, NFSMPC. Opinion. We have audited the financial statements of National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation, NFSMPC, which comprise the statement of financial position as of 30th September 2022, income statement, the statement of changes in equity, and the statement of cash flows for the year ended 30th September 2022. And the notes for the financial statement, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the financial statements present fairly, in all material respects, the financial position of the entity and its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended, in accordance with the requirements of the Companies Act 2013 and generally accepted accounting principles. The rest is a standard literature that accompanies the report, the opinion, and then the key audit matters we refer there to the management letter.
Okay, let's go to the management letter.
You can go to page 4 of the management letter.
Yes, we are there.
Page 4 is an executive summary of the report, which indicates the number of points that have been raised, and then the risk ratings of these points indicated in colors, whereby you have the low risk, you have the medium risk, and the high risk. So from there we can go straight to page 6, where we have the first issue on controls. That's control issues. 2.1, internal audit activity issue. That's rated as high risk. Observations. Internal audit department provided us with their work plan for the year under review. However, we noted that not all the activities in the work plan were covered, as 75% of the plan activities were not covered. The number of plan activities was 4, and out of that, only 1 was done, as indicated in the table below.
Okay. Then let's go to implications and recommendations. We allow the management to respond.
Okay, implications. An audit department with only 1 out of 4 reports planned throughout the year shows a high level of weakness in the control system and a lack of adequate efforts by those charged with governance. This weakness could affect the company's ability to achieve its objectives. Recommendations. Management should ensure that the internal audit unit fulfills its responsibilities adequately. They should also ensure that the internal audit department performs all the activities approved in the annual audit work plan.
Management response. It should be MD.
Management noted the concern raised.
Can I observe? Mr. Chairman, I think the response should come from the MD.
Okay. Can I delegate to the finance?
Pardon?
Yeah. Delegate to the finance director.
Yeah, I know the response is coming from the management, not the finance director. So we expect the MD should be in position to do that.
Our management, we are all managers.
Yes, I'm saying with your permission. With your permission, I can.
Okay, no problem.
With your permission, I would want to.
You can choose anybody to
Delegate this to the director.
Anyway, you know, sometimes I know all of you are managers, but they are all under your supervision.
Yeah.
So that is why this response, primarily, even whereas it will be arranged by a different department, but the tail end and you append it.
That's right.
So that is why directly we expect that line to be maintained for you to be reading the response.
So, with your permission, can I delegate it, or do you want me to still do it? I'm asking for your permission to.
What is the reason of delegating it?
Yeah, because these are financial matters, and they are in a better position to deliberate on it.
Okay, observation.
We are not at the consideration. Yes. I think these responses are already written. We are not at discussion yet.
Okay.
So it's not consideration.
Okay.
As far as we are concerned, this is only a presentation. You will give it. When you come to the detail and the technicalities of it during the consideration, you'll be given the opportunity to adequately respond.
Okay.
Please.
So, management response. Management noted the concern raised regarding non-completion of the work plan. However, it should be noted that the internal audit department has been providing effective pre-audit engagement in line with the corporation's financial reform strategy. We are committed to strengthening our audit function by reinforcing the governance frameworks and ensuring adequate resource allocation.
Thank you. Next.
The next point is on page 7, verse 2.2. Inadequate staff capacity in the internal audit unit. High risk. Observation. We also observe that the whole internal audit department is operated by 2 individual staff and a junior staff, for that matter, who was unable to exhaust all the activities of the work plan during the year under review due to lack of manpower within the unit. Implications. Lack of adequate manpower at the internal audit department can lead to the following issues: inefficient work, lack of exhausting the activities of the work plan, segregation of duties cannot be attained. Recommendations. Management should ensure that suitable recruitment is done to enhance the capacity of the internal audit department and to ensure effective and efficient delivery of work.
Management response.
A new internal audit manager has been recently hired to strengthen leadership and oversight of the department. There are plans to recruit additional staff for the unit.
Next point we have is on page 8, 2.4. Borehole drilling, high risk, observation. We observe that NFSMPC have entered into a borehole drilling contract amounting to 1.7 million with Layers Borehole Drilling for the procurement of 5 boreholes with solar systems for 5 depots. The contract duration was 30 days upon signing the contract. which was signed on 12 October 2021. And still, the project appears in the accounts as a work in progress, as indicated on the implications. The way this project happened indicates that there are issues as it is still recorded as a work in progress and it should have been completed a long time ago. Recommendations. Management should ensure that the work done by the contractor is fully assessed by the contract committee to ensure that the funds are properly utilized.
Management response.
Despite rigorous oversight by the contracts committee, the contractor defaulted in the implementation of the contract. Following this process, the contract was terminated. While the initial drilling did not meet our standards, the equipment purchase remains unusable, and recently the corporation took necessary remedial actions to ensure the boreholes become operational by engaging a new contractor to complete the drilling, thereby making the valuation of the work in progress items justifiable.
Next.
Next item is on page 9, that is 2.5. Fixed assets not insured, high risk. Observation. We observe that the entity insures only its motor vehicles and not the other assets which have a book value of $205,331,804. Implications. Lack of adequate insurance cover exposes the corporation's assets to high risk. In the event of an unexpected event, the entity will not receive compensation to recover. Recommendation. Management should ensure that the fixed assets are adequately insured in order to be compensated adequately by the insurer in the event of loss occurring.
Management response.
Management have requested proposals from various insurance companies to provide cover for our assets. Our plan is to strategically insure high-value assets first, thereby mitigating significant risks while controlling cost. We remain committed to improving our insurance strategy to ensure optimal asset protection, and we will continuously review and adjust our coverage as needed.
Next.
The next item is on page
12.
The next item is on page 12.
Yes.
That's 3.3. Variance on ground purchase between NFSMPC and Ajib Bank. High risk. Observation. During our analytical review of the ground purchase cost, we noticed that there is a difference between the GLS general ledger balance and the report from Ajib Bank as displayed in the table below. You can see the particulars there, the NFSPMC figure and the Ajib figure and the difference. A total difference of $1,110,047 was noted.
Okay.
Implications. The differences between the two balances is an indication that funds spent on the purchase of groundnut shells have not all been accounted for. Difference also shows weakness in control to ensure timely reconciliation between the two balances. Recommendation. Management should ensure that timely reconciliation is carried out to ensure that such variances are mitigated.
Management response.
The variance observed is primarily due to the current business model of purchasing groundnuts through CPMSs or SECOs. Ownership of the groundnut is transferred at the SECO level, and without proper screening, discrepancies can arise between the tonnages recorded at the level of the SECO and those received at the depot level. These discrepancies, often due to dust, foreign materials, and other shortages at the SECO level, result in variances between the records of the bank and the corporation.
Next.
Next item is on page 14. 3.6. Cash and bank, high risk.
Respondent.
observations. The following are a list of reconciling items in the bank reconciliation which were not provided with evidence that they have been cleared subsequent to the year end. The positive entries indicate deposit in transit, and the negative entries indicate unpresented checks. As you can see in the table that follows. Implications. Reconciling items not cleared in the subsequent bank statement for more than 3 months indicates a cause for concern. Lack of clearance in the subsequent period indicates potential problem as to whether those transactions involved were genuine reconciling items. Recommendations. Management should ensure that these items mentioned above are investigated and appropriate measures should be taken to rectify any potential problems. Measures should be put in place to avoid repeat of such issues in the future.
Management response?
We acknowledge the observations made regarding reconciling items. To address this, we have implemented a thorough review of all outstanding reconciling items. This process includes contacting the bank to expedite clearance and investigating the nature of each outstanding item to confirm its validity. Any discrepancies or irregularities identified were promptly addressed and resolved.
Thank you. Can we move to the prior year unresolved issues, those that are not implemented?
Yeah, on page 16, we have the prior year ML points, whereby you have the observations, recommendations, and the status of implementation.
Yes.
The first item there was on asset verification.
Report.
It is said to be not implemented. Then the other one which is partially implemented is the manual asset register.
Let's only concentrate those that are not implemented.
Yeah, on page 17, there's another one that is not implemented.
What is that?
Printing is.
There's a printing error here. Oh,
Still on the C.
assets, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Partially implemented. These are they are not implemented. Then we have on page 19 another one.
Can we know the heading?
Page 19.
IT?
So the loan. The loan, yes.
Okay.
That was also not implemented. Still that's the end of the non-implemented items. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, the external auditors. We really appreciate. Mr. Chairman, before I adjourn the meeting, I just want to observe the absence of the board chairperson or the deputy. Why are they not available?
Thank you. Here, the chair has a very important engagement.
You mean as important as this?
No, I'm not. It was unavailable. The engagement was unavailable. Yes.
Okay, we have taken note of this, and come during the consideration. We want the full-fledged board to be available. The chair and the deputy need to be available. Because we have a lot of issues that are governance issues, internal issues that they need to respond. And before we conclude, do you have anything to tell us before I adjourn?
Yeah. Chair,
yes.
We end by thanking you for receiving us to present our documents to you for consideration. We are grateful.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I think I still want to emphasize in thanking you and your team for the cooperation when it comes to your major function in dealing with Parliament. But let's put into the absence of the board. The board chairperson is very key. And that is why anytime we are asking questions or we want to talk, we direct all our questions and information to the board chairperson. You will further delegate it to the portfolio or sector officers here to respond due to the technical nature of those things. But that is why we are talking to you. So coming for the consideration, we want the board to factor that one and make sure that you are available. I know the communication has been sent, but they will later communicate to you when actually we are coming. So we already have it in our work plan when you are due for, let me look at it. So do I want to cover? Can you say you don't have anything? We consider, yeah, they are here.
27.
And you have invited these people on the 27th.
How about 20? That would be 5.
Yeah, we can manage them. Is it okay?
What is this? What do you have here? This is consideration.
Yeah, of GTS.
Let me see.
No, it's the one.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, wait less, sir.
There is a space here on the 20th.
No, wait, but we are affected by this. And in fact, we are rescheduling this particular day for. No, I think.
Yes, 25th.
Yeah, no, now, because Social Security tentatively will hold that one. Bring that to the 25th.
25th.
Yes.